Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host Matt Marrero along with your other host
Tristan Walter.
And it's crazy, Tristan. Here we are, right, doing a live Star Wars Wednesday show on a week that I didn't think you'd be doing a show. Right? I prepped for you not to do a show.
I mean,
it's because
when you told me
targets,
what we were
right?
going to be doing, I had to drop everything immediately.
No, what actually happened though is what was nice is Satish has been out sick, right? Literally, right?
Oh,
so
no.
and no, it's true. That's why we've been having this little Steven Universe marathon with some of our shows that we've kind of had backlogged and saved, and I forgot to post on certain days, right? And it makes me feel like a jerk. Like, damn it, I forgot to post the show. But now in our time of need where we weren't able to do WWE Fastlane or WWE Monday Night Raw because Satish has been very, very ill, literally it's just, hey, everyone take a Steven Universe, right? But today was the day we were going to run out. So I was thinking, darn, what could we do, right? And I was going to try and shake Satish. Hopefully he'd be less dead. And we were going to record something for another day, right? And then you just come up to me and you go, hey, I know I have not finals, but you have tests, exams that you told me you can't do Star Wars for. And then all of a sudden you told me, no, it's good. We can do Star Wars.
It's next week.
Yeah, right?
So, Matt goes into his little folder of Star Wars and says, what could I pull out for us to review this time? Hey, Matt, how about we do quote? Shut up, Tristan. I know what I'm doing. Oh, here we go.
Yet. We're not there yet. We have to work our way up to Clone Wars. Not as if we're getting the grunt meals. No, more so it's not like we're eating gruel right now. It's just the idea that we're chronologically working our way up to Clone Wars. Yes,
we are. We're protruding forward into the 80s more.
Yes, because we wanted to do 1, 2, and 3 because prequels, right? You want to talk about the good, most of the bad. The sequels, the bad, and the okay. So, the prequels, rather. But anyway, but we jumped back into the 80s. We did Star Wars Droids, and we were going to do the Ewoks animated series. But then I realized, wait a minute, those TV specials, they don't come after the Ewoks animated show. They come before. Right? So even though the Ewoks animated show works as a little tiny prequel to these two TV specials, technically they do air after this, right? So This one, right, Star Wars, technically it's called Ewoks Caravan of Courage or Caravan of Courage, the Ewok Adventures. I've stopped caring. The point is that
Did you ever?
There's caravans, there's courage, there's Ewoks, and I think it's technically part of the Star Wars franchise. So we're doing it on Star Wars Wednesday, right? It aired in 1984.
Yeah. To be completely honest, I felt like I was more watching a bad ripoff of An Unexpected Journey. I thought I was watching Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings was popular at the time.
This
so
is true too.
I definitely think that could have had something to do with it. I really don't know why this happened this way. All I know is, look, Star Wars property been a big thing for a while, right? We haven't really had. I believe the secondly is considered I wrote that it was a TV movie because I believe it was a movie but made for TV, right?
Yeah. So
you can tell with the budget that it was made more so for TV than it was for, or technically, the straight-to-DVD kind of release. So, dear God.
Yeah.
Thinking we're in 2016 right now, so it's is it really straight-to-DVD or is it more straight to, what do we call it now? Straight to Blu-ray. No, that doesn't sound right. Blu-ray still sounds too fancy. No, it's straight to DVD.
Probably would have been straight to VHS, if anything.
Right, well, at the time, of course, yeah. It's just straight to Betamax. But anyway, looking at this movie, right, it's weird because, so like I said, the movie came out in 1984. Now, there are some things I actually do like about it. But overall, looking at the story, the general plot, it's so weird, man, because I can't say that I hate this. it's not as if I looked at this movie and said, man, this is offensive to me on every single level, and it destroys me, it destroys every fiber of my being. It doesn't. However, it does feel like a complete waste of my time.
And yet that's not a bad thing.
No, it's weird. No, it's very weird, because technically, yes, it is a bad thing. But I mean, like, there are a lot of other things that we've seen, like, okay, right? Like, I will talk to you about the prequels and say how, you know, like, I will completely shit on the idea of this love story of Padme and Anakin, you know? Yeah. I was like, I'll talk to you for so long about this, and we already have, right? We already have. So, but when it comes to this movie, I mean, yeah, I'm going to, you know, trash talk some of these kids, maybe. But, you know, but it wasn't a complete piece of crap. It's just like, it was one of those adventures that, okay, I haven't seen the next special yet, but I'm going to safely assume none of these characters return. Which is the problem.
Except for the Ewoks.
That's the problem because, well, right, of course. We need, so remember all their names, kids.
Yeah, I mean, Wicked, I mean, come on.
There's Johnson.
Oh, my God.
There's Jim. Yeah, there's...
You are terrible. Yeah. You are terrible, Matt Morero.
I'm sorry, do you remember all their names? Well, of course you do. I don't. Why did I ask you that question? Of course you do.
Oh.
I don't. Sane people, and you don't have to be a Star Wars fan to be not sane. Just to memorize the Ewoks' names. I'm sorry. You're not sane, Tristan.
No. Well, okay, to be fair, I only knew the one because it's the same one that Leia bumps into in the freaking movie.
Right. Okay, and by that point, it's like, I've seen some shit. I've seen some things, man.
Yep. Oh, God.
Save the kid and their family, man.
So that's why when they bump into, like, you know, the rebels, it's like, yeah, you know, we've dealt with this before. We were killing ogres before you guys got here.
Yeah. You guys are just jelly in what is it, in these freaking, in plastic suits. They're fine. Not plastic.
Yeah. We got
actually
this.
No, plastic. Yeah, plastic works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Plastic is the joke.
By the way, here's the thing. So I have a question for you. Did it feel weird? Minus the little girl, minus the blonde-haired little girl. Did it feel like they were trying to cast Han, Luke, and Leia? Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When you look at the character, especially when you looked at the mom and the dad, right in the beginning.
Yeah. When you first saw them.
Yeah, in that light, I was like, are you trying to really just do a TV movie recast of, of Carrie Fisher? And,
it's funny.
And
I kind of felt like that in that first scene where they're looking at the down, space cruiser, that they're trying to do a Leia and Han impression, but then later in the movie they lose it completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it felt like that in the beginning. And then also, if you look at the cover, I don't know if you've seen the cover of this movie, but when you see the cover, it looks like Luke is in it. But really, it's just this little kid, but it's drawn in a way that made you think, oh, Luke is in the movie. And I don't know, I have a theory, and it's probably very wrong, like many fan theories. I'm wondering if at one point they were like, yeah, we're going to cast for Han, Luke, and Leia, and then thought, nah, never mind. Out of nowhere. Or they were trying to be like, hey, kids will look at them and say, wow, they look similar, as if there's a familiarity to it. Because it's certain, because in a way, I assume there's a psychological thing to that. You know what I mean? The idea of oh, they look similar, so I trust them compared to the main cast, right? Because it really does look like we had a young Luke, and then at one point we had Han and Leia. Now, again, later on in the movie that was completely lost, of course. But in the beginning, it was just so weird because it felt like Han and Leia were just walking around doing stuff. And it's like, oh, no, ogre. Which, by the way, loved the ogre. My favorite part of the movie was the end fight. That was my favorite part of the movie. Just the way they did the effects and everything, that was my favorite part.
Yeah. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are not lying. Big bad guy in this movie is a giant ogre that the Ewoks have to save the children's parents from. And
I got to be honest with everyone, right? It's not a normal-sized ogre that is giant to the Ewoks. It is giant to everyone. It's not like oh no, it's an ogre. It's actually 5'4". No, this ogre
no,
was
we're talking 20, 100 feet tall.
Like think King Kong in the early King Kong films.
Oh God,
Maybe
yeah.
not that harsh, but like,
but
honestly, if you want to bring up some bad memories, think of Zilla. You know, the American Godzilla in the 90s.
Oh.
I know, bad memories. I'm sorry. But the point is that it was smaller than I think your average King Kong, but it still got the job done. And the effects that were used were very much tokusatsu. You know, tokusatsu means Japanese special effects, and it's it's the idea of using these the model cities and the man in rubber suit, but put against small model city looks huge. That kind of stuff. I mean, we've seen that with Japanese King Kong stuff as well as American King Kong stuff. If you bring tokusatsu, the idea of tokusatsu, and you apply it to a lot of the Western stuff, right? Because usually you use the word tokusatsu for Japanese stuff like the word anime. You use it for Japanese animation, but anime just means animation, right? So if you take the word tokusatsu and apply it to American stuff, really, shows like, Supernatural and even Star Wars are considered tokusatsu. But the Japanese, right, when you think of like categorizing it, these Japanese shows, right? So you think of like the Japanese shows, you think Godzilla, you think some early King Kong stuff that Japan did, you think of Super Sentai, which became Power Rangers in America, because they have the giant Megazords or the giant robots. You think of Ultraman because, he turns giant and he literally uses professional wrestling moves against other monsters. It's amazing. So the point is that, we had that brought to this film, both with the spider as well as with the ogre. And you also had some stop motion here and there with that other creature that they showed. And overall, I think I really did like those practical effects, and I think those made me go, oh, wow, this is a fun movie, right? This part is fun. I'm sorry. I should never call the whole movie fun. That's a misrepresentation. Also, I don't want to, hurt the word fun. But those were fun parts of the movie. Now, the rest of it was just us sitting down going, Like, I will admit, right, the kids were likable enough that I did want them to live. Like, I didn't sit there and go, like, if you remember Star Wars Droids, that one unlikable fucking kid.
Yeah.
So the kids were likable, but I think the problem is that they thought they were too likable. And I mean that by, like, the second you introduce them, you give one of them an illness. And you're like, man, we need to rally together to help her. And you kind of sit there as the audience, and you're like, I kind of don't care yet. I don't want her to die. I just don't care.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think they were going for that universal of, little sick girl. We care about this. It
worked a little, but it worked a little bit, but it didn't work as much as they thought, in my opinion.
I mean, it probably
didn't really,
but
maybe. Well, I don't know if it's a thing about different times, because, I mean, I think universal sick child always helps, but I think the idea is that you only introduce the two sick children. I think if you introduce adults or other people, the sick child is just like, oh, no, we must do everything to protect her. But it was kind of just these two kids, and one of them is sick, and it's like, all right, you're already kind of a burden. Like, you're already, these Ewoks are trying to help you. And by the way, another thing, too, so people just naturally understand a bunch of different languages in the universe, but these are children, so they don't understand the Ewok language. Because I thought that they generally, like, they were a little bit, when, our merry band of, Star Wars, cast, right? When they, like Han, Luke, Leia, when they met the Ewoks, was it really, I forgot, was that hard for them to translate and know what's going on? Like, even C-3PO, he even said, like, their language is a bit off. Was that what it was?
Yeah, well, it was 3PO could translate, but he's like, they use a bit of an old dialect,
archaic,
or a dialect that I'm not, it's like similar to stuff I know, but it's not exactly.
Okay, so even to C-3PO, it was a bit off, but he was there, so he kind of helps. With these kids, though, these Ewoks and these kids, it was literally just like, what?
Yeah, that is, language barrier is in big, bold letters.
Okay, that's cool. I was just curious because, So, all right.
And yet, the whole thing with, my sister needs medicine, which, fair enough. I think the Ewoks are, intelligent enough to look at, a small child, whether it's a different species
and that's why
or
they
not.
gave the medicine. Yeah.
Right, and look at her and say, oh, you at least get the idea she isn't feeling well. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, let's give her the medicine that we use and see if that does anything.
And if it doesn't, it might kill her.
Fuck.
That's like saving her,
geez.
just in the exact opposite direction.
Oh, God, that would have been a terribly dark turn.
The movie got real dark at certain points and then tried to just completely, go back on itself. And I was sad because I was like, man, you guys were trying. And I liked it. And then you just said, nah, never mind. I'm good.
Well, I mean...
I'm not saying the little girl had to die. Look, I told you, I'm not fucking... I didn't want the girl to die. I'm just saying
you
that,
did that.
When the kid... No. Like, when the kid was drowning, right? When he lived, God. I was like, good. Because I'm not saying he should have died. Again, I'm not advocating child death here. But what I am saying, here's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. When he got out, right, it was like, oh, man, that took a real dark turn. That was nuts. And then the little girl just gets lost on the carriage. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that went from, man, this got dark real quick to la da 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 da, like just a fun adventure. I was like, oh, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Well, that's why I laughed, halfway through when they leave on this journey to go to the ogre's cave. I'm like, this feels like an unexpected journey, and just replacing hobbits with Ewoks.
Yeah.
I don't know, not completely, but it just felt like that vibe. It felt more of like a fantasy movie. And I know, Star Wars. You could consider Star Wars fantasy too, but it's like, I don't know.
That's
I've
what Lucas
grown
likes
up in
to
a
call
way.
It,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. He likes a fantasy set in space, not strictly sci-fi.
Yeah. So I think that's what they were going for with this.
And
so
if that's what they were going for, they nailed it. I mean,
of course.
I got the fantasy feeling, definitely.
Exactly. One thing I want to mention is this little girl. This little girl was clearly magical because she had the power to clean and reapply dirt to her face, and also had the powers of line redubbing. I don't know if you noticed it at certain points, where she would say things, and I'm just like, this was early on in the movie. I didn't notice it much later, but early on in the movie, she would say things that I'm like, yeah, that was redubbed. I was like, what do you? Or it was from behind. Yeah, the mouth flaps didn't fit, or it was too quick, or or it was too long, but the mouth flaps were quicker, or it was from behind, and just the way it sounded, I was like, yeah, you redubbed this. You did post dub work. So also the magical ability to reapply dirt to her face during different, shots right next to each other. And I was like, that was fun. You're magic, kid. You didn't need that shaman.
I mean,
which, by the way, love the shaman.
Yeah, that was cool. That was the thing that it was really weird for me. Excuse me, watching some of the parts with the narrator coming in and talking about the Ewoks and they're doing this, that, or the other thing.
Yes.
In the weirdest way, it felt like I was watching a culture documentary.
Yes.
And I mean that in a serious way. Not looking at teddy bear people,
funny.
but describing what different peoples do, in their home, in their village, or, anything like that, just the different daily activities. I felt like that's what I was watching for a few moments there in this movie, and it was like, huh.
I would love to have that on the I would love to have that just on on the Death Star. Just wouldn't it be great to just the Darth Vader is a brooding asshole. Shut up.
Oh my God. No. Oh God.
No, but I do. No. No. Here's the thing. When you said that to me, I laughed, but I understood because you said this feels like it should be in some freaking you should be taking an anthropology class, and just one day they're just here's this great documentary on the study of the Ewoks. And
not I'm not joking in that sense. It's
it's interesting. It's only remember sometimes reality is hilarious. So, like, it's, it's funny in that way, because if you really do watch this and you're like, wait a minute, what? Because, like, the narration really, like, at some points, the narration was there because they understood, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We need some narration.
The Star Wars Christmas special shit didn't fucking work. Right?
Right.
We need
that
to
thing
let
that I
people
don't know what it
understand
is.
what the fuck is going on.
Yep.
Right? And then boom. You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the one day that you, because I think you still are technically, like, you do the same thing for Dragon Ball GT. So I'm going to love when we're doing a podcast on it. I'm going to be like, that arc. You're going to be like, the arc and the thing I don't know. Yes. I wasn't a big fan of this arc from the thing that I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I would feel like you would make that joke more than me. I will admit that GT exists. Most of it.
Okay,
Parts of it,
thank
no.
you.
Parts of it, I will say, don't exist.
Dun, you don't fucking exist in my heart. Anyway, But getting back to, by the way, talking about the shaman, because I guess the song, did it click? You were like, wait, that's the opening.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it clicked.
I love the Ewok shaman, because I sat there and all I could think of is just like, I look at the world in a different light. I know what it takes to make it right. Remember the fucking Shaman King opening? And I won't give up the fight to be the Ewok shaman, right? Although I probably sang it wrong. Let me sing it again. The way that was their language. Totito.
Oh, is that what you just did there? Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You speak fluent Ewok, don't you, motherfucker? I'm so fucking sorry. You take Ewok at Stony Brook, you piece of shit. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I didn't realize you take fucking Ewok classes and you go to anthropology and study Ewoks. All right? Fuck you. Okay.
I mean, when I was in high school, somebody used as an essay for their topic of their essay for civilizations that overthrew more, like, technologically advanced civilizations, used the example of the Ewoks overthrowing the Empire at the Battle of Endor, and I was so fucking jealous. I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
I thought you were about to say that there was an Ewok. It was an Ewok language class at Newfield. I was going to sit back and go, wow, was that when I left? Is that what happened? I leave, and all of a sudden they just put an Ewok class in there?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I think I need to make one thing perfectly clear to you. I love Star Wars. I don't love it that much. I think that that goes over loving a series and goes into the territory of blatant insanity.
What I loved is I sat there and I was like, you know what? I could pause it at any moment, but I'm going to let him finish to see how many fans he's going to alienate.
Yes, all of the fans
when you said insanity, look, there's nothing wrong with Ewok/Klingon, okay?
Oh, well, I guess that is true. But
that's why I was just like, I know, Klingon is a bit different than Ewok.
Yeah, there are people that speak Elvish too, but that's different. That's like, I don't know. That's an actual
humanoid.
You can make a coherent language out of that.
You're a biologically biased fuck. And I only use biologically biased because of the amazing alliteration that came from that. Also,
if you want to look at it that way and be super open-minded about it, okay, sure. You're right.
You're an Ewok humanoid. Hater. They're holding up signs at Ewok rallies, and you're going to have to look down to read them.
From my tall skyscraper in Coruscant?
Yes.
Oh
no,
God.
Just from when you walk. as you're walking, they're going to be holding up, they're like, la la la, and you're going to be like looking down, like, yeah, that's a great sign.
Yeah.
Too bad
and they're going to be tying, they're going to be tying you up and roasting you for that one.
What's even funnier? You know what's even funnier? Like, you'll see one, and you'll know which is from the movie, because the rest of them will be in their language, written in their whatever their language might be when written, and one of them will just have Star Cruiser written on it. You'll just be like, yeah, I don't think that's not how you protest.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing that I loved towards the beginning of the film when the kids first run into the Ewoks. you know, the brother is like, oh, you know, take your hands off of her and, you know, stay away from her, and shooting the blaster, and, you know, they outsmart him and tackle him, take his guns, and then tie him to a stick and bring him back to the camp to roast him, just like Han, Luke, and Chewbacca in the movie. I'm like, huh, this kid's going to get eaten. He doesn't have a 3PO to back him out of this one.
Yeah, no, there's that, right? And also just the way they killed that monster, the one that was running after them, that they used the stop-motion animation for. I love, like, the Ewoks are just so badass, man. They killed that thing dead.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you know,
dear
you
God.
got to be tough to live in a giant forest like that, you know?
Yeah. No,
I'm not even joking about that. I'm serious.
No, it's true. By the way, another dark turn that this thing took early on is when it was just, oh, you know, Mommy and Daddy died. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's got real dark.
Kid.
Come on. No,
yeah, have a little hope.
Dance, Ewoks. Dance, Ewoks, dance. Ha-ha. We're all having fun, right?
Make a laugh.
Parents. Yeah, that was,
I mean,
dear God.
I don't know. I guess maybe in a way she's just looking at it, you know, the child's bluntness, like, yeah, they're probably dead. It's like,
most likely, yeah.
And the brother is trying to look through no, I need to keep you, you know, like, happy. You're not supposed to be thinking, oh, my parents are dead. I'm sure they're fine. They're fine, okay?
Basically just shaking her. It turns into a scene from Airplane, just shaking. They're fine. Slaps them. Little, like, Ewok, Star Cruiser. Oh, of course, you next. Star Cruiser. Slaps her. The next one.
Star Cruiser, crash.
No, yeah. What was it? Star Cruiser, crash, and then what was the other one? He said another word. It wasn't. It was God. Star Cruiser, crash, and it was something else, right? I can't remember what it was. The point is that all the Ewoks are in line to smack her because Airplane.
Oh, jeez.
Go watch Airplane if you haven't already, and you're listening to this podcast. Go watch Airplane.
Then the mother, then the shaman, then the father, then.
I hate that I find this that funny. But anyway, one thing I want to mention. So yeah, yes, I remember the other word. It's in my notes right here. Tristan, they said furry. But not furry. No. They said, furries. And I sat there and I looked at that and I was like, all right, so the Ewoks technically are little people in suits.
No.
So technically they are furries.
Oh, no. I was really hoping I heard that wrong.
There's nothing wrong with being a furry, Tristan. Hell, furries actually donate a lot of stuff to, like, children's hospitals. It's nuts.
I mean, okay, like, that's fine.
I know. It's just connecting two things that you never thought would be connected in your life.
Yes.
Also, by the way, the girl,
if you enjoy that's entirely up to you. I don't mean to judge.
It's just it's just that it's two things that I think Tristan never thought would be, like, in the real world, maybe, you know what I mean, like someone who is a furry and then they also dress up as Ewoks. Fair enough, right? But I think, like, in the realm of Star Wars, right, in this fantasy, it was just interesting to just out of nowhere, just your ears pop up and you hear furries, and you're like, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, what's funny is you look at the girl, right, and it's like she is teaching them the ways of our language. In return, they will teach her how to hunt. The ferret will be her prey. No, because I saw that ferret, and I was like, that is the cutest thing. Please don't eat it. Whatever you do, just don't eat it. It's adorable. Please don't.
I mean, honestly, in a lot of cultural anthropology studies, like, the best way to, you know, study a culture is to immerse yourself within it. So, I mean, you know, living amongst the people and learning what they do in their daily lives, that's what you do.
I don't know. I think I prefer the more colonialism approach. Just, no, don't eat ferrets because Jesus, and then hand them a Bible. And then in turn, the Ewoks look at the Bible, and then they burn it for warmth because they don't understand what religion is. Actually, never mind.
Hey, yeah, they have shamans.
Of course they.
Fuck you.
Not even just that. No, it wasn't that. It was more like C-3PO is the metal god. Because of course they understand what religion is. They just don't understand what the Catholic religion is. God is not metal. He sits on a cloud.
God.
Yeah, right. Like God is not gold. He sits on a giant cloud in the sky. They're all looking at each other. They're just like, they're saying it in their own language, but in English they'd be, so should we eat her? I think we should eat her. Probably eat her. Yeah.
Luke just makes the chair move. I mean, he's floating now.
Yeah, right. Okay, so, what I don't know what you thought about the earlier parts of the film, but honestly, I know there was like those little cute stuff that we've been talking about on and off, but really, I think the film finally picked up when they were on their journey. But that nearly took an hour to start. I mean, 45, 50 minutes, like out of a movie that was an hour and 36. Right, because it was made for TV, but it wasn't a 45-minute made-for-TV movie.
No, it was an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was made to be a 2-hour, like, syndicated slot. You know what I mean? Like, you can just slide that in there whenever someone needs a 2-hour film, you know? Which I think technically today, with the way we do ads today, would probably end up making this movie 2.5 hours airing on television. Well, because like I think back then, I mean, it's funny. I mean, we've been airing ads and stuff forever, but I know that different television, like different eras, right? At least in U.S. television, right? You'll have a situation where when you want to re-air a show from the 70s, it's like, ooh, but you have to either speed it up a little bit or you have to cut some parts out. Not even for pure censorship, just because you got to make room for them ads.
Right.
So today, this movie that's an hour and 36 minutes, right? Won't be 2 hours. It'll be 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I need to see this. I need to see this at least once in my life. The full Lord of the Rings director's cut.
Dude, you haven't seen that? The hell's wrong
aired
with
on
you?
television.
Oh.
With ads.
Oh no.
How long is it on the DVD normally?
I believe it's 3 hours. Roughly.
I heard it was 3 hours or a little bit more. Okay, so it's a 3-hour cut. So it was probably 4 hours.
Yeah.
If not 4.5 with ads.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrendous.
There's a reason why, at least at this point in time, we don't see Lord of the Rings on TV. Like, you can flip through any of the channels, any of the movie channels. I mean, of course, like movie channels, like premium stuff, yeah. But I mean stuff that's like...
Yeah, that runs ads. Like, I mean, I'm sure you could order it. But at the same time, like, usually if it's on TV, I don't think they play the director's cut. They play the theatrical
Even
release.
then, I've never seen the normal release. At least it's been a very long time, rather.
Oh, yeah. No, they definitely have that because they've been playing the Hobbit movies on TV all the time now.
Yes. Yeah, the Hobbit ones, of course, because those are a bit newer, I would say. So, of course, they're going to be like, yeah, let's do the Hobbit. But, my God, though, just thinking about it, like, good God.
Yeah, you're going to be there a while.
Yeah, you're going to be there a while. I woke up, and I was 27, and then the movie ended. Where did my life go? Why is everything so dark?
It was like 1 minute you were looking into the lake, and then the next minute you were...
Anyway, I don't know what's going on anymore. What matters is...
That was a segue back to the movie. This one.
Right, drowning. So, everyone's
You were so impressed by it, Matt.
I was.
You were rooting for him to drown the whole time.
I was not. What I did enjoy was the fairies that kept on going, hey, listen. Hey, listen. Geez. Hey, listen. I do think the fairy stuff was cute, though, I do think it was cute. It was just like fairies. So, hey,
we added Tinkerbell.
Basically, yeah.
We took a combination of Navi and Tinkerbell. Oh, dear God.
So, weird question. So I know you keep on saying things like you hate the Christmas special. Oh, that's fine, but it does stick out in your mind as like, damn it, I remember certain things from this, and I hate that I remember them. I hope so, because it does for me, right? So the part that it did for me was the dancers, right? You know, like just that fucking weird ass dancing that they did, and then the random musical number.
Sure,
so
I'll go along with it.
Yeah, one of those dancers, it looks like they just took like her moves, like they took like what she did, they rendered that, and they just sped it up a little bit and made it gold. Because at least when the fairy was dancing, it looked like didn't it look like one of those dancers though, right? Like an actual like, I mean maybe again I wouldn't I would not suggest to anyone to go back and watch the Christmas special. But something about the way the way that fairy was moving and dancing looked like they took a human being, right? And obviously they had to, because it's like, duh, this is, they like took the person, they had them move around and then, whatever. But still, it was just, and then they just edited that with whatever effects they had at the time, right? But it was just, these have not gotten a George Lucas re-release. The ogre shot first. So yeah, the ogre would throw rocks first. It would be horrible. But the point is that didn't get any kind of re-release. So, the effects are based on what they were like at the time, which I think was really, quaint and really nice at certain parts.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting seeing the dancing fairy, because when seeing the dancing fairy, it just reminded me of some of the dance moves, some of the wackier, more, kooky but fun dance moves that were in that Christmas special for that, little brief time. I didn't hate the dancing, actually. I hated that it went into a fucking musical number, that we all had to sit down and just go, Star Wars, right?
Is that what we're watching?
Today. Exactly, right? So that's the one thing we'll say about this, at least. It was Star Wars. I know we'll make jokes like, really? Was it Star Wars? It's like, look, they had Ewoks in it. I know you could say the same thing about them having, Chewbacca's people, Wookiees, but still,
no.
I know, yeah. It was more Wookiee married life. This is just, hey, it's not like, because it would be terrible if this movie was about, oh yes, the Ewoks, they start to wear suits and they're going to their corporate jobs, and it's and I mean, it'd
the
be
Empire
fucking
set up, offices for them. They're really making life better for the Ewoks. And then you pan over to, the Empire trimming down the forests for fuel.
I was going to say, at least the missionaries would give the Ewoks Bibles. I feel like Darth Vader's just work for me or death. This is what you get in return. It's like, oh, I get to wield one of these lightsabers? No, you get to be.
And you get a force choke, and you get a force choke, and you get a force choke.
It's like Darth Vader's like, I will slice you. It's like, I will slice your head off your body. I will slice your neck, wherever that may be. Not sure right now.
Or
when I find out where your neck is. No, because some of them literally just look like they're all body.
Yeah, that's true.
There's just no neck. It's just you are neckless. You have a head, you have a body, little tiny bear arms, you're done.
Or to make another Lord of the Rings reference, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
I know exactly what that means. I think. Are you saying they're eating them? Is that what you're...
Yes.
Oh. I love it. I feel like there's an Ewok version of Twilight Zone. It's to serve Ewok.
Oh, God.
It's a cookbook. It's a cookbook. The Empire eats a cookbook.
The Empire eats Ewok. It's just lunch on the Death Star.
No, I'm going to say,
it's just one stormtrooper having an existential crisis, going, they serve us Ewoks!
I was going to say, you hear a menacing respirator, so you found out.
Oh, God. Yeah, and you just see the lightsaber come out of the stormtrooper's chest. No, I must tell everyone.
Oh,
they may never know the truth. You just see Palpatine come up. Did you take care of him? Yes, my lord. Good. They must never know the truth.
Senator, Palpatine? Yeah? You got some fur in your teeth. Oh, yes, of course.
Oh.
Anyway.
I hate it when that happens.
My God. Okay.
That took a weird turn.
What are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing right now? We have. I still love the fairies. Hey, listen, as a note. Let me see. What else do we have going on here? Yeah, the giant really was the best part of the movie for me. I think we're around the end because
I wanted to point out though the lake, lake scene Did that
Mhm.
did that not just feel like, King Arthur? I thought the kid was going to go up and there was going to be an Ewok lady of the lake, and she was going to throw a lightsaber at the kid and be like, "You will be the savior of the Ewoks." But no, it was just a mystical lake where he touched it and it was like a mirror, and he ended up in the water and he couldn't get out.
Yeah, no,
that
it was
weird.
more so that it was the story of like Narcissus, the idea of like he looked at himself so much, he loved himself so much
Yeah.
that he saw his reflection everywhere, and he looked at his reflection in the water of the lake, and he drowned.
Right.
I believe that was the story.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I thought in the way that you described it though, right? It sounds a lot more like an RPG.
Yeah.
Where like
God.
Dragon Quest, I believe, or something like that, where it's just like, he looks in the lake and it's just, you've met the magical woman of the lake, and here I am to give you this if you answer or if
Do you think they made a game for this movie?
I don't believe they made a game. I'm pretty sure I checked. I will be checking again, but I'm pretty sure they did not make a game. We will not be playing this on our Let's Play series, although we may. Let me see anything that I want to mention. Yeah, right. Yes, this was released on TV, as I said, November 25th, 1984, on ABC, by the way. So,
oh, jeez.
It's funny. It's in a way Disney has always owned. So let's see. So yeah, it was made for TV. Yeah, the film is set sometime between the 5th and 6th, movie.
Right.
So episodes 5 and 6, and again, it's the first of the 2 spin-offs featuring the Ewoks, right? And then the second one, which we should be doing next week if everything goes well, will be the Ewoks Battle for Endor. But as of right now, there is there's what?
I wonder if that's going to be like a presetting to the the theatrical Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi, or whether that's going to be a spin-off Battle for Endor.
I think it's a spin-off because this came after. I mean, it's interesting. These are 2 spin-off films after Return of the Jedi. So obviously the Ewoks appeared and everyone knows who the Ewoks are, but I don't know if they tie in or not just yet, right?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that next week. So remind me, and I'll look that up next week. What matters is that it was not adapted into a video game. However, they did release a children's book. So I hope that they took away the Ewok death and the potential parents' death.
Probably not.
Probably not. But it's the 80s, man. Whatever. Everyone's chill. But other than that, they did not make a game based on these. Sadly, I feel like you really would have wanted to play that.
Yeah, you crushed my dreams.
I'm so sorry.
Just like those rocks crushed that Ewok.
That made me cry, man.
I hated that I was right. I'm like, oh God, the one that doesn't show up in the movie.
It's like a red shirt, right, from Star Trek, or it's generally just like a filler character. You're just like, either you're going to die or you're leaving and we're never seeing you again. Filler referring to anime. It's like you're either dying or we're never seeing you again.
I thought we were in the clear. I really did.
Only once did we ever see a filler character again, as far as I remember. A filler character in the sense that, like, we made a filler arc, and then we abandoned it, and we went back to real stuff, and then we went back to a filler arc. We actually found you, right? Only once have I ever seen it. I'm sure there's more than one time, right? I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm the anime connoisseur. But the one time that I know, and you know this too, you may have forgotten, Bleach.
Right.
The Bleach anime, the only time I can think of that they brought a filler character up in an arc, right? And they were just like, we're going to pick you up later, Because usually it's like, we'll see you again, and it's like, you never see her again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like, I know we've had filler characters, things like in Dragon Ball Z, we've had, like, certain, like, dragons and stuff like that, like Icarus or, stuff like that. We've had filler characters that have appeared in more than one piece of media. But the idea is, like, to actually have, like, this filler arc, to introduce a human being that's just like, hey, you're like a princess or a prince, or you're someone of really big importance in this arc, and then we leave you. Usually it's just like, yeah, you're done. whatever kingdom you're from is never spoken of again in the main canon.
Yeah.
So, sadly, we experienced the trope, and he died.
Yeah.
He died a warrior's death, crushed by rocks that probably wouldn't have killed the child. No, it was a big rock. No, it was a big rock.
Yeah.
No, it may have not killed the dad. Maybe.
Although I do question why that Ewok had to stay back and felt the need to swing his axe at the ogre's toes. I guess to hold them off and give the parents time to get away. But
yeah,
it seemed kind of like, why aren't you running right now with the rest of them? Why did you feel the need to stay? What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, no, they needed to work together to take him down. But it was so weird once they actually did work together that it was so easy in a way. It felt like, we don't have much runtime left. Okay, cool, just use magic and gun.
Yeah.
Together.
Well, I mean, it was funny when they tripped him. I was like, it's like taking down an AT-ST.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. It's just once the guns came out, I was just like, well, that was easy. And then thank God he showed up. I mean, I got scared. My notes went from calm, technological magic, dear God, he's not dead.
Yeah.
I
was not expecting that comeback. I thought that fall would have definitely done him in. And then, holy crap, that axe finish?
Yeah.
I mean, geez. I mean, yeah, it was his axe the kid threw, but it was holy crap. That went straight into his neck. Probably severed his spinal cord.
That's how you have to do it. It was nuts. I sat there and I was you're going to have to do one of two things here. You're going to have to kill the beast. And I don't know how. It's very easier said than done. Kill the beast or feed the girl to it as tribute. I don't know what else you're going to be able to get away from this. You're going to have to do something to get away from this because, my God.
And I mean, I wonder if they went back for his body and gave him a proper burial. I mean, maybe Ewoks don't do that, but I'm pretty sure they have some form of burial. Isn't it
interesting that in that way it would seem too somber, right? We can't have I don't know if this movie if they didn't have the child psychologist on, if they didn't hire her for it, but it feels weird because we would talk about her. It's random child psychologist that God knows what she's doing now, but it's just apparently for every single piece of Star Wars media ever, we just make a joke that Lucas hired her, even though he only hired her, I think, for one movie. Might have been Return of the Jedi. Anyway, so no, but all just said, so the idea that it would be too somber to have a funeral, you think, right? But the idea that he died and then the narrator, the way they paint it is just, it's just love is the strongest thing in the world. The other Ewok said,
yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, granted, I don't think he was part of their village. I think he was a lone woodsman, but at the same time, he was a respected warrior.
You are correct. He was a respected warrior, but he also was a lone woodsman. So, because of course, I think people don't really understand. Yes, the Ewoks are kind of endangered, not doing so well, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that. No, the point is that it doesn't mean that all of the Ewoks only exist in that one area, right? There's an entire planet of Endor. It's an entire planet of. Apparently, the forest planet has deserts, right, Tristan?
Well, okay. Here's my reasoning for that, and I'm going to explain it to you now because now you brought it up.
You were the one that didn't like it. I thought you didn't like that it had.
Well, okay, because in Return of the Jedi, this moon does not have a name. You may think it has a name, but it is misleading in the fact that it doesn't. They call it the forest moon of Endor. The planet in the system is Endor. This is one of its various moons. And they categorize that moon by saying it's covered in forest. Now, if you call it the forest moon of Endor, and it's not totally, the prominent feature is it not being covered in forest, how the fuck do you know which moon they're talking about?
Right. You sound like you're doing the Johnny Cochran defense. I don't know why. You're it just does not make sense.
It doesn't.
So, like,
I'm sorry, it doesn't. And it bothered me.
I love you so much.
Like,
I love you so much.
There isn't supposed... I mean, I get it. They were trying to go for, like, different terrains and, like, a mystical journey, and I'm fine with that. That's fun. That's cool, whatever. But the fact that it doesn't have a name of its own, and everyone in the galaxy seemingly knows it by the Forest Moon, just kind of threw me for a loop, you know?
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, man.
To say the Ewoks probably don't call it the Forest Moon of Endor. They probably have their own, traditional name for it, and I would love to know what that is, because then they could use that, and it would be fine, but no.
Star Cruiser. Furry. Like, that's what it's named, furries. It's named furries.
Oh, God. The furry Star Cruiser.
Oh, good God.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's just Chewie's Star Cruiser. It's just, like, hair is just on, like, the outside of it. Like, it's just covered in hair. He sheds.
Oh, God.
Chewie sheds. Anyway, so we're at the end of our show. We would like to... Yeah, we've done it. We'd like to thank you all. Yeah, I'd like to thank you all for listening in, as always. Next week, we should have some more Star Wars. Right?
You mean more Ewoks?
Right, more Ewoks.
Because everyone wanted more Ewoks.
Apparently.
Matt took a poll himself. You know what those guys could really use more of? What's that, Matt? Ewoks.
You are so... I'm so scared right now. You fucking lost it, man. I don't know. I think you need to take the rest, man. I think you need to take a break. You're kind of sick, I think. A little bit.
A little bit.
No, but seriously, though, again, next week we're going to have some more Ewoks. Maybe, we'll even have you on for Anna Saturday. I know this week for Anna Saturday we should be having Satish Ram. If anything changes, I have you on speed dial, Tristan.
Yes.
But we should have Satish Ram for Anna Saturday, and which will be fun because Anna Saturday would be the Naruto OVA, the first one, because last week we did the first Naruto movie, and so good stuff coming up, fun stuff, and we'll see what else comes throughout the week, based on Satish, see if he's feeling any better. And how do you know what's coming up throughout the week? Well, we have ourselves our website, which is thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com, where we post our new episodes. We also have our Facebook, which is /thoseguysontheradio, our Twitter, which is @thoseguysradio, and our Instagram, which is /thoseguysontheradio.
/Ewoks.
Right, no Ewoks. Dear God, no Ewoks. Also, you can get merchandise of ours, no Ewoks, on our... merchandise related to our podcast, fun quotes that we've made and stuff like that. Some new shirt designs, or no, or stuff regarding our Let's Play, which I'll mention in a moment. So we, our merchandise, by the way, cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise. Our Let's Plays, by the way, season 2 has just started up again. An episode with you and I will be out this week, Tristan.
Yay.
So, yay. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I think you remember the one that we did, and if not, I'll text you about it after we're done. And that's coming up, but the first episode for the second season did come out. You can find our Let's Plays by searching up Those Guys Play on YouTube and finding our YouTube channel, which is called Those Guys Play. On there, you'll find, a lot of different stuff that we've done for Those Guys Play Season 1, starting up Season 2 again, as I've been mentioning. And we also have the series Matt Beats Games from His Childhood, where I, being Matt, beat my games from my childhood. And the first game that I'm beating is Mega Man X, so that's fun and horrifying. That's an ordeal. So again, you can find that on YouTube by searching up Those Guys Play, and you can also find our podcasts on YouTube by searching up Those Guys on the Radio and finding our YouTube channel there. Also, what you can do is you can find our podcasts on iTunes by searching up Those Guys or Those Guys on the Radio. And not just that, Tristan, as if you don't know. We also have our new show that we've been doing for the past 2-3 weeks now. Third episode is coming up tomorrow, called TG News. And you can find TG News on on a different YouTube channel of ours, TG Productions. But what I would suggest doing is going through our social media accounts and finding new episodes through that as of right now, because we're just starting up that, TG Productions account. So TG News may not show up as easily as it should. But yeah, so we're keeping that rolling. We're just doing a lot of fun stuff. Yeah.
I should do a segment on Ewoks for the news.
We got to get you here. We either have to get you here, or we have to get you have to have do you have a really nice webcam? No, you don't. So you got to get someone who does. You think I don't want you talking about Ewoks? I fucking love that. Are you dead?
Do you?
Did Ewoks kill you? Okay.
Do you really?
You sound alive. Yeah, I do. All right, so anything you want to say?
You might want to talk to somebody. Nothing.
I'm talking to you.
I know.
So anyway, do you want to say anything before we go? Because clearly you're on something right now, and I don't know what yet. Or you need to be on something. I don't know which. Do you have anything to say about this wonderful show, this wonderful made-for-TV movie?
No, but I will say this because that's what I do. May the Force be with you, and yub yub, Commander. Yub yub.
And also with you. Good night, everybody.